Want Hey everybody, it's your girl to want to be with Not Your Normal Conversation. Actually, Gina Fletcher is here and you can hear her in the background singing. And I'm just waiting for her to get settled in. Sometimes you have to be the best host you can be. So I'm waiting for her to get and there she is. Everybody, thank you for joining us and thank you for joining Not Your Normal Conversation. And tonight I have Gina Fletcher here from Las Vegas. She's in Las Vegas right now. And
Oh, no, 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 no.
very
I'm
good.
in Phoenix, Arizona,
She's
baby.
in Arizona, excuse me. And she will correct me a lot, you guys, because that's what she does.
No, I will not. I will not do that.
So everybody, I'm introducing you to Gina Fletcher. She has been done work in the community. She sings and she has a story that I want her to share with so many people to hopefully help them to gain some strength and hope from her story to know that people can make it. So we're just going to get right into it. Sorry, we're running a little bit late, some technical difficulties, but that happens from time to time. So hi, everyone calls her auntie on Instagram. She went viral and people started calling her auntie. I found her on Instagram and I was immediately attracted to her story. And she does have a story and she also sings and her dog sings too, as I mentioned in the bio. So we're just going to get right into it. Gina, how are you?
Well, listen, you sound like you're introducing this. I don't know who you were introducing, but thank you. You look very nice.
Thank you, Auntie. I appreciate you. And I was introducing you. I see that you always sometimes have a hard time with compliments, but everything I say, if anybody knows me, they know that I mean it. And me calling you Auntie is almost like your family. Your story has, caught a lot of attention. I found you on Queen Flips. Flip the script. He does a podcast, and I found you on his live. And I was intrigued by the message that you were sharing with. There was about 700 people on the live that day about your story
Wow.
and where you came from and how transparent you are about it. You know, when I bring people on this show, a lot of times it's politicians or it's attorneys. And sometimes, well, lately I haven't brought anybody on who has had a story like yours. So I would like for you to please tell us how you got to this place where you seem so okay in your skin, even though you've been through so many things in your life. I just want to know where you came from and how you got to where you are today.
Wow, that was a lot. No, listen, I'm in awe of you because I talked to you just regular, just over this thing, this,
Yeah.
FaceTime, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And your authenticity is what attracted me because a lot of times it's not that I have a hard time with compliments. It's just that I know that it's not really about me. I just know that whatever I emanate or whatever I share with you or whatever you get from me has very little to do with me. And that's what I've come to find out after being on the planet 60 years that it's
And you
very
look
little.
good.
So do you, baby. And your background is lit. What is that? Is that
Auntie,
real?
Auntie,
It's
that's a backdrop. It is not real. It is a backdrop. And so, I'm
it
just
looks
going
so
with the flow.
nice.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And I really am honored to have you on the show. You've caught the attention of so many people on famous people on Instagram, and you still are very humble. But again, I just remember hearing your story, and it reminded me a little bit of my mother's story when I was growing up. And and I have had conversation with you that I'm formerly incarcerated. So I have met a lot of women in the system who have a similar story to you, but they ended up on the inside with me. And that's not really your story, but it is similar to theirs. So I just want you to share with the viewers how you got to this wonderful place, because to be honest with you, I kind of envy that about you. I've been through a lot
You,
of things.
you envy what? You envy what?
That you're so there was a time when I couldn't embrace certain things, and I remember you pointing this out to me about something that I said about myself. I said I hate to say formerly incarcerated, and you go, why? You did it, right? It's where you were, right? Doesn't change anything about who you are right now, right? And so after you said that, it took maybe about 2 weeks for me to realize that you were trying to teach me something, that every moment that I watch you on Instagram is a teachable moment for me. And so I realized at that point that I needed to have you on the show, because there's women, young women who are still out there that need to hear from you, that need to know that maybe jail isn't their only option. Maybe drugs and prostitution isn't their only option. So, if I may ask you about your history and where you came from, and then,
Tell you, I'm going to tell you.
okay,
I'm in amazement, and I am so honored that you obviously have taken some time and done some research to peruse the Instagram streets or Facebook to actually to find out. So that's oh, I don't take that lightly because everybody is unique. Everybody keeps saying you're so different. Everybody's different. Do you know that there are no fingerprints that are alike? Do you know that?
absolutely, I do.
The fingerprint is such a amazing entity that there is not one person with the same. Our bodies, everybody's body is different. There's nothing, even twins. So, when I hear the accolades or I'm grateful that people acknowledge my characteristics, my traits. I'm grateful. Are you okay?
I am. I'm just listening to you. That's all, Auntie. Don't worry. No tears yet. Don't worry.
Oh, no, because I feel you, and tears are an amazing strength to express. I'm a crybaby. I cry all the time. The older I get, the more I cry. I cry commercially. The more you cry, they say, the less you weep. My great grandmother used to say. So
My
embrace it. As a
right,
matter of fact, women should cry more, especially Black women. We need to cry more. If not, we will be mean, angry, sexless, emotionless, relationshipless people. Anyway, a segue.
absolutely. Anyways,
So
I
the
agree.
reason why I have been able to touch people's lives, I believe, is because my experiences have put me in the position to reach somebody who is either going there, on their way to where I've been, or they have been there and they haven't matriculated spiritually, where they can accept it, or they feel shame or embarrassment, or I'm going to help become a barrier to them doing what I did.
Right,
Because how I felt about myself was indicative of the choices that I made. Because I'm gonna tell you this, I was born and raised in the Holiness Church in Brooklyn, right? I was raised in the Church of God in Christ. My father was a singer, and he got a record deal when I was born in 1960, October 26th. I'm a Scorpio.
hmm,
Proud of that. In Brooklyn, and then Flatbush. And my father got a record deal when I was about 4, and he married my mother. Or I mean, they were married, had me, and then he got a record deal, moved to California.
Auntie, I can't hear you. I'm on mute. You're muted. You're muted, Auntie. Your 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 mic is off. No, your mic is off. I can't hear you. Turn you're on mute. No, you're on mute. You guys excuse her. No, you're still on mute. Unmute. There you go. There you go.
Now my mother was calling me, and I think she wants to come over here.
I love
So
you.
you
It
know,
doesn't matter.
no,
Keep
no,
going.
no. But this is so funny. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put it on do not disturb. You want me to do that? Put on
No,
do not disturb.
it's fine. Whatever you'd like to do. This is your party. I'm telling you right now. This
No,
is this.
it's our. Don't say your. It's our. It's not about me. That's why people to understand. This is why I want people to understand. I'm grateful, but it is not Gina, the person. It's not the human being. I'm grateful that I am allowed to be used, but only. Well, let me go back to my story because you're gonna have me go there, and I want to just wait. I want to chronologically do it expeditiously.
Right.
So, and the marijuana out here in Phoenix is the bomb because it's legal. So it opens up the chakras to make a person just bare their soul, which I have no problem doing. So, like, are
So
you laughing? Good. I want you
I
to laugh.
am. I am. You are
I'm not
such
trying
a
to be
love.
funny. I'm not trying to be funny. So my father and mother were married, moved to California. My father got a record deal, began to tour with a lot of people, amazing jazz singer.
Hmm.
And he started shooting heroin. My father started shooting heroin, and with several people who are in the industry, and my father couldn't come back from it. And he died, some years later. So my mother had 6 children. They had 6 children. I'm the oldest of 6 children. When
Okay.
my father started shooting heroin in California, my mother started drinking alcohol very heavily. She hasn't had a drink in 30 years. She's
Praise
80 years.
God.
Yeah. And when she started drinking, she almost literally lost her mind. So as the oldest child usually
You're on mute again. I can't see you or hear you. I'll wait. Sorry, guys. She is a little bit older and just not as technically savvy as I am. So I apologize. But her story is amazing. And I think that she wants to share it with you. So I'll just wait until I can see her. Auntie, I can't see you. Interesting. There you go. You, it's
okay.
absolutely fine. Things happen. Things
But in all
absolutely happen.
reality, I'm not sorry. Let me be honest, because I'm not sorry. I'm not because if my mother's calling, I don't care who's what I'm doing. My mother is the most important person beside. Well, my son and my mother are close.
And I agree. I agree.
So, but I apologize for disturbing your flow.
No worries.
Um, so being the oldest child, the responsibility. So fast forward after seeing my mother and father separate and moving to back to Brooklyn, when my mother tried to kill my father because my father hit her one time. My mother wasn't taking that, so she tried to burn the house down. And we weren't in the house. She put us out, and she wanted to get back at him. And she was drunk. She drank Chevy Sprinkle and Tanqueray every single day, and that led to a very destructive, volatile situation. So we came back to Brooklyn to my grandmother's house, and my grandmother was very active in the church. And so, because of that, church became a solace for me. I became very active in church, and then I happened to sing. So, church and religion became my go to.
Mm,
And in that religion, I became a very self righteous, very saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost, and that with fire, speaking in tongues as a spirit give utterance, and full of shit, and
wow.
dishonest, and hypocritical, and a liar, and not understanding what God really was to me, but I was caught up in the religiosity of it. I didn't even wear pants. We were so religious back then. Some people still are now, but the way I was raised, if you're in a certain religion, then you have to live by certain precepts and tenets and mores. However, it should be consistent with how you live every day. So on Sunday, Friday, I went to church all day Sunday, Tuesday pastoral night, Thursday night choir rehearsal, Friday night youth night, Saturday was usher practice, and some Saturday night service, and then Sunday school, morning service, afternoon service, night service. I mean, all the time. But
Right.
yet we were having sex, committing fornication, so they say, going to the altar, just full of shit,
Hmm.
and I kept up that facade, and then I wanted that my goal was getting married. I wanted a husband, and I wanted
Right.
a husband. Basically, I wanted a preacher husband or a musician. That's what I wanted. So not only did I not know who God really was, but I didn't know who I was as a woman. I
Right.
didn't know about my body. My mother had been drinking, and my grandmother had to raise us. So I was trying to be a grown woman with 5 brothers and sisters. So I really didn't know me. So in my mind, the first chance I'm gonna get my own family.
Right.
Even though I went to college and all that and became a clinician, social worker, blah blah blah, I still had an emptiness. And once I got married to this preacher, and matter of fact, this guy he's a bishop, right? Matter of fact, in a denomination. And I didn't see when a person doesn't like themselves. I believe they will pick people or attract people that confirm that you don't like yourself. Let me keep it
Right.
on me. I never liked my body. I was obsessed with my size and weight and a big butt and pigeon toes and being flat chested and having big lips. I was told I had big lips my whole life. I'm subconscious about it now, still. Not as much, but still, keep it at 100.
Right.
And no, really, really, really. And as you know, I couldn't do the thing last week because I had to get new teeth because I lost these top teeth. Remember?
I remember.
So I'm working on the bottom teeth. So I still go through that aesthetic bullshit. I'm much better with my mouth and all that stuff. But it led me to a path of disliking my body. And when I did that, some people that I chose to say that I love showed me how much I didn't like myself by the way they treated me. So I allowed a lot of bad things to happen to myself, which led me to divorce. And well, he divorced me. My ex-husband divorced me because I was so crazy. And then I started smoking crack. Um, and unfortunately, I'm gonna say this. Unfortunately, the feeling of crack and cocaine make you feel like everything's gonna be okay.
Wow.
It's momentary. It's momentary. I mean, drugs are meant to make you feel good. You know,
Right. Right.
heroin, cocaine, pills, alcohol, they're meant to make you feel good. And unfortunately, the high doesn't last long. And then reality sets back in all over again. And then I'm out there trying to do whatever I can, which to me was sell my body. Prostitution was the way I got money for crack. And I quit my job. I was teaching. I'm an amazing employee, worker, all that stuff. But I didn't want to feel. My ex husband was seeing somebody, and I'm trying not to tell his story.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I really want to respect people. You know, I really do. Because I don't believe in hating anybody when relationships are over. Because I loved him at one time. So how could I hate him now?
Right.
The love was authentic, and it's deep. Even though I didn't like me, I thought I loved him. That's deep. That's deep. Is
That
that
is
deep?
deep. It is deep.
Because how can I really, really love you? Or maybe you were my obsession, or maybe you were my project. Because let me tell you something. A lot of times, as a woman, I've met a man and said, he said who he was. And I would say, but I think I could love him enough to just change a little bit. And
Right.
when I'm doing that, I'm not respecting him as a man, disrespecting myself and allowing a lot of horrible shit. So anyway, as I progress, as we proceed to give me what you need,
You
okay?
always got a song, and I love it.
So, listen, songs come to my head all the time.
I know.
I'm telling you, all the time. If I would sing what's in my head all the time, I'm telling you.
You'd have a
So
whole record done if you did that.
no, I wouldn't be able to talk because I would be singing all the time. So anyway, it led me to a life of hell, of total degradation, dereliction. Dereliction means abandonment of self. I mean, prostitution was the way that I lived. That's why I got money for 2 years every day, and because I had to use because I didn't want to feel anything. And by the grace of God, I was able to only because of not religion, not a preacher, not a no none of that stuff. Wait, I'm gonna put the air conditioner on. Wait a minute. I'm
Okay.
having a hot flash.
We'll wait for you, Auntie. Don't you worry. We'll be right here. We'll be right here waiting for you. No problem.
Listen, girl. I'm also going through menopause, right? Woo!
I understand. I understand, Auntie.
Woo! Menopause is no joke, baby. I'm telling you.
I know my mother's going through it right now. I get it. When you're ready.
Oh, girl.
This
Lord
is
have
what I
mercy.
love about you. You just are who you are. I love
Well,
that.
I'm really surprised that you say that because I don't understand why people think that's a big deal. I'm not trying to
Of
minimize what
course.
you're saying.
Of
But
course.
it seems like authenticity is in, and I don't understand that. Who else can I be?
I think,
I
Auntie,
guess you know what? You know, I think it is. I'm just at this time in my life, I am unafraid of people's opinions because, and it takes a long time to get there. It takes going through hating yourself, I believe, to actually like yourself. I believe that. Not only did I come to learn that your opinion of me is just an opinion,
absolutely.
but many people feed into the person's opinion of them. For instance, I've seen people on live,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm. I can't hear you. There you go. No, I. You can't hear me. I can't hear you either. Mm-mm. There you go. I hear something.
I don't know what to do.
There you go.
What happened?
I don't know.
That's deep. That's deep. When stuff like that happens,
Sometimes it's a sign. You started to think like me. Maybe God didn't want you to say whatever you were going to say.
or maybe it's a sign we shouldn't do the interview. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know.
Auntie, you better stop it.
No, no, no. But you got to think of all those options because
Absolutely.
when there are barriers, and I've learned that also in life. Right? Hold on one second. Let me get my dog. I've learned that also in life, right? When there are a lot of can you, can you see the dog?
I love
When
him. Anyway,
there are a lot of barriers, a lot of times in situations like relationship or a progress or a project or a job or something, when there are a lot of barriers, sometimes it means it's not supposed to happen.
absolutely. I agree with that.
Right? That I would just push and do it anyway. Just
Hmm.
push and do it anyway. I've been that kind of person, you know.
I have been too. I'm learning to do it less and less.
Do you have any questions for me? Because I
I
can do
do. Auntie, I do have questions for you. And the reason why I brought you here is because you're very transparent. And I find that here in Massachusetts, with me being incarcerated and coming home, I find that the biggest struggle for the women is how do they bounce back from prostitution and drugs and trying to find their way through life, to love themselves. Because like you said, you're out in the street, you're prostituting, you're using drugs, so you're doing that because you want some temporary relief from your pain and your past. And I just wanted you to share with the viewers how you got to a place that you love yourself so much that even when I've heard people say to you on live, they've called you crack, oh, she's just a
old,
crackhead. Yeah, yeah, I've heard those
old record.
things. And I am appalled that that's the names that they would use, but you say to
Why?
them,
Wait, why would you be appalled?
I
I
don't
am
know.
older than them. Some people think that 60 is old because they haven't lived to be 60 yet. And then I was a crackhead. But see, some people do that because whenever a person tries to hurt somebody, and there has not been anything initiated to them, all that says to me is that that person doesn't like themselves. And so they need to say something to get a rise out of me. And you will never get that because I know who you are. I can see through you. So if you call me a name, that's it. You're supposed to move me around because of that? No, no. Now, if you hit me, but if you say words, what is that? Nothing somebody can say to me. I'm telling you nothing that can make me say, unless it's a joke, unless it's comedy or some shit like that. But you
Right.
trying to hurt my feelings, and even if you did, I'm the kind of person from where I come from, you'll never know. I'm from Bed-Stuy, I'm from Brooklyn. You will never know if you hurt my feelings if you mean nothing to me. And you
Absolutely.
know what? To this day, I still use Vaseline.
That's definitely old school. Auntie, how long have you been clean
Think from what?
from crack cocaine?
Oh, I haven't used crack. Oh my God, listen. I started smoking crack. I did it for 2 years. My son wasn't born yet, 30 years ago. But I smoke weed now. I didn't do anything for 26 years. I started smoking weed again about 2 years ago. And then it's legal, it's medicinal, it's God's collard greens, you know.
When you say God's collard greens, that really makes me laugh. It kind of
I
tickles me
believe
that
that.
you say that.
I believe that.
And how long have you been off the streets?
Prostitute.
Prostitution.
Oh well, no, I only prostituted for 2 years when I was smoking crack. Now I keep it 1,000. See, that's why it's two different things. You kept saying prostitution and drug addiction. It's two different things. Because I know some prostitutes who've never used drugs. It's a lifestyle. It's a way of life. I know some prostitutes have never smoked crack. I know some drug addict women who've never prostituted, and it's demeaning to them. I have some of my girlfriends who would rather boost, steal, jack somebody, stick somebody up, sell shit, have a regular job. I know crackheads who did all kind of stuff.
Right.
I unfortunately refuse to work every day and smoke crack at night because I don't want to feel nothing. I
Right.
knew I wanted to check out every day. So when I said, you know what, I knew my manipulation was. I knew that men and money went together. See, before I even smoked crack, and before I was prostituted, I knew how to manipulate men with money. And that's something a lot of women don't get honest about, without even having sex. I knew how to get money out of men. You know what I mean? And they were seen as just objects to me. Men were seen as just tools. And once I got clean, once I started prostituting, I had to learn how to respect men. I had to learn to see them as human beings, as sensitive, not objects. I didn't objectify men, you know. So I went through a whole plethora of internal work, you know, just to say, because, and then I had a male son, I had a child, a
Right.
man.
Right.
How am I going to treat him, raise him, if I think all men are dogs, if I think all men are liars? What kind of woman? And so then I would have wound up raising a bitch, meaning that this man wouldn't respect women. This man would mistreat himself. He wouldn't have honor. And my son, college graduate, 30 years old, going to be a pilot, went to the Navy. Just amazing,
Right.
amazing, you know.
Right.
And I did that also because I had submitted my life. Who I wasn't fucking. I wasn't having sex with these men. They were my friends. However, let me backtrack. Let me backtrack. The one man I did have with him in my life, I lived with him for about 13, 14 years. He
Hmm.
helped me raise him.
Hmm.
My son is a result of prostitution. I have no idea who his father is, which was horrible for me for many years. I just could not get over guilt. Every now and then, I wish I knew, you know, but I lived such a vicious, ugly lifestyle that I had sex with men without condoms regularly. It wasn't a big thing for 2 years every day. So I had submitted my life, who helped me raise my son, who were honest with me, who were respectful, platonic, didn't want me. They just wanted to help me with my son. So that helped me a lot. Helped me learn how to talk to him as a man. Helped me learn how to respect him, give him space. So I haven't prostituted on the streets in a long time. However, when my son was a baby, I got my son back when he was 3 years old. My grandmother got my son when I had him. I was smoking crack. The hospital gave him to my grandmother. I went on a run for 2 years. No, about a year and a half. I went on a run after he was born, smoking crack because I couldn't handle the guilt, shame. Then when I got clean from crack, I got him back. My son was born July 31st, 1990. I got clean July 5th, 1992. So when I got him back, I went on a vicious journey of being an amazing mother. However, during that time, once I got clean, I was on public assistance. I was working someplace and going to meetings, and I was getting healthy. I wasn't high. And prostitution has such a vicious post trauma to it
Right.
that if one is not careful, sugar daddies and tricks become a way of life without the drugs.
Right.
I've always had, not now, and it's been years, a nigga in the cut, you know, a mechanic, somebody in the grocery store, somebody in the laundry. So I used to always have somebody who, a man, who I didn't have to have sex with, but I knew I could flirt. And every now and then, every now and then he might say, I want to do something. I would flirt and make him think it, so he can buy me something. I did shit like that years ago,
Right.
you know. I
Right.
turned two tricks though. I did turn two tricks. Big trick. But see, I'm trying to say big like it mattered,
Right.
you know, about maybe 20 years ago. It was for rent money or some bullshit for like 5 minutes, you know. But what happens is, and I'm not minimizing this, but the the mentality of prostitution has all to do with the hoe syndrome, the tricking syndrome, the trying to get something from a man and not giving the most, trying to just get money really or make him do stuff for you and bamboozle him and lie to him and make him think, it's a game. I haven't done it in years. I don't miss it. Every now and then, and I'm in Phoenix, Arizona, so there are a lot of white men out here who like um, color. And I'm saying that because when I was prostituting, white men were the men that I picked up because number one, I was embarrassed to be around black men. I was ashamed prostituting in front of black men. I really was. And white men, I could put on the face and it was easy. And I don't remember any faces or nothing like that. But when it was a black man later on, I felt embarrassed. I did. When I get honest with my insides, I didn't like doing it, not because they were cheap, but because I just felt ashamed, you know?
You know, Auntie, as I'm listening to your story, I'm just, you just took me back to times when I've been in the visiting room when I was in either MCI Framingham or South Bay. And I would,
Where?
when I was in MCI Framingham, that's a women's prison here in Massachusetts, or in South Bay, which is a county jail. It's in the county down on like the
You
side.
know, I used to work in a jail, right?
Yes, and I'm going to get to
I
that, but
worked in Rikers Island. I
and
was there for 6 years.
I'm going to ask you about that, but I wanted to share something with you. You just brought something up for me because when I would sit in the visiting room, I would see women getting visits from men that look like their grandfathers. And that is where I learned what a sugar daddy was, because these men were taking care of these women because when they were on the outside, they were their sugar daddies. And I just didn't understand. I couldn't put the two and two together to
What do you
say,
mean? What do you mean you couldn't put two together?
I couldn't put it together why they would want some old man to be just doing the things that,
Oh man, what do you mean? No, 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 no. See, you're
uh-oh.
thinking. I don't understand what you mean by some old man. These are
Okay, so Auntie, these are young women. Okay, so some of them are 19, 20 years old, and you're talking about maybe a 60, sometimes even 70-year-old man, right? There's a big age gap there.
what
And
is she doing with him?
I
What is
know,
she doing with him? What's her motive?
well, she
I
was
keep it.
getting,
I
she
keep
was,
it on me. I keep it on me. What's
okay,
what's her motive?
so I did ask a couple of the women, and they said that they were getting money from these men.
They were prostitutes. They were
Right,
home.
right, right, right,
Why do you focus on the man? Let's talk about the part I play. I'm being accountable.
right.
Too many times. Now you want me to be keep it 1,000.
I
Too
do.
many times we women, I'm keeping on me in the past. Don't be. I'm not accountable for my role in shit.
Right.
Nobody, unless I've done it to my head, unless I have my own agenda, you can't make me do nothing unless you break me. That's different. Unless I'm a true victim. But if I'm with some a motherfucker and they mistreat me or whatever, I have a, I can choose. I can choose.
But I think the bigger question for me is how do we stop our black women, especially young women in the community? I see it more in prisons. I really have. I've seen prostitution on the street. Let's keep it 100. Before my grandmother moved to Milton, we lived in Roxbury, which is the hood, right? So I see prostitutes walking up and down the street. I knew what they were doing. My uncle was a cop. I always knew what they were doing. But to see it in prison, it takes on a new light because there's no sex exchange there. There is just a
Who said that?
monetary.
Who said it's no sexist change?
Well, not at that point in time, right? So not at that point in time. I'm saying if we're inside of a prison and they can't do anything for these men, but they're getting money from them, right? So what are the men gaining? They're just giving their money because these women.
Wait a minute.
I want you to help me understand so that
Wait,
I can.
are you really asking me? You don't know how two people, regardless of this institution, whatever, can't trick. Well,
I can
are you serious?
Auntie, I can say that I can say that I understand it, but I'm saying why? Like
Why what? Why what?
why why is this happening? Like why is it, especially for black and brown women, because I've seen a lot of it in
Why is
them.
prostitution real and about to be legalized all over? Why is that real? What are you talking about? Is prostitution? Are you talking about the sugar daddies? I'm not sure.
I just think it's just the just given a for me, I've come in contact with a lot of women who have been molested as kids, so this is something that they don't mind doing because they've had trauma in their past. um, and so I guess I'm pretty much trying to figure out how do you end it or how do you get past it when it
How,
just becomes a way
how
of
do you
life.
how do you end what? I don't understand. How do you end the
Prostitution.
prostitution?
Yeah.
I don't know how you end it because it's never gonna end. It's the oldest profession. Prostitution, tricking ain't never gonna end. Holding ain't never gonna end. Kidding me? It's actually a business that when it's done appropriately, people don't lose. But see, you're talking about the lifestyle I led. The lifestyle I led was about degradation and drug addiction. It's two different things. That's what I think. Prostitution is a profession for some people. People frown upon it. That's on them. Hoeing for me was drug induced. It was only a ways and means. It was something. It was degradation. It wasn't anything that was a lifestyle that was about producing anything. That's all. I was just running. I was slumming. I wanted to escape for a couple of years, and I did. The way I stopped was spiritual change. But prostitution is a whole different ballgame. You're never going to end that. And working in Rikers Island, I was a methadone counselor. I was what they call it, the heat count, substance abuse counselor. So I
Mhm.
went to the housing areas to interview, I call them clients, they call them inmates, and to assess their need for methadone or Librium. So I was at C95, C76, and Rosie's, which is the women's jail. And the inmates, clients, they love me, because I advocated
Of
for the
course.
client.
Of course.
Um, I saw so much when it came to female COs that I almost was jaded when it came to female CEOs. I really was. I saw them verbally disrespect so many men. And you know what? In jail, you're not sentenced yet. You go processing. People don't know if you're guilty or not.
Right.
So when you're processed in jail, you can catch a case quick just going upstate. You know what I mean? There's so
Right.
much bullshit happens in jail. And the CEOs would let me know what the person was charged with. And if it was something that they deemed disgrace, then they wouldn't let me go see the client to give them methadone. You know what I mean? Oh, listen, I've seen so much. It's been horrible. So what I would do, because I had a personal commitment, personal mission to people, no matter what they were charged with. If a person was charged with a sex offense, even if it was something like, let's say this guy, let's say a client, an inmate was 20, and the girl was no, let's say, and the girl was 17, but they dated since for the past 4 years,
Mhm.
right? Now somebody may call the police on him and say it was rape, whatever. Okay, that may have happened. But they could be boyfriend and girlfriend, so they're coming with a charge of a sex offender, SO,
I've seen that
not
happen.
know, not knowing what happened.
Right.
That charge will allow a CO who's jaded, who's narrow-minded, who's mean to try to relate to me. Don't see this person because they this, wait till Monday. The person will be sick all weekend. I didn't do that. I went to the bullpen. I went to the pen. I went to see them before they got processed to the door. Because I don't want nobody to be sick all weekend. You know what I mean? And it was enlightening to see the changes that happen to people in jail. And I'm gonna tell you why I wanted you not to stop saying formally whatever you were saying, as if there was a negative spin on narrative being in jail. The only way I think matriculating in jail is negative when a person's legitimately innocent. And sometimes even then, I think the universe, I'm gonna say this, fuck it. Sometimes people are innocent. It's not their fault that they're there. Never. But I think spiritually, the universe may have a greater story for them. You know what I mean?
I
Because
understand.
if only certain people can handle being charged with something and going to jail and innocent. That's got to be a person that has some great moral fiber and God's trying to do something for them. I applaud
I've
that
seen
statement. I
that.
don't know. No, I'm serious. So, and there are people who are guilty and have got away with some shit, but they didn't do this crime, but they got away with a lot of other shit.
Right.
So
I agree.
sometimes, but if you go to jail and actually take a look at, because I've seen people do time and do it well and come out, and it takes a year for me to see that there's change because the rate of recidivism
It's
is
true.
very high.
It
Oh
is
yeah, I'm
true.
telling you. If
Yeah.
you ever get hooked up with some, if you're not in jail now and you're trying to talk to somebody who's in jail, you write letters on it. Wait till they get out for a year before you. I'm telling you, that's all I'm saying. Because
Look,
incarceration is horrible, and the toll it takes on somebody's spirit, they have to be deprogrammed spiritually. Anyway, what was I talking about? Because I
we
just
were
talked about
I was
it.
talking about how do you think that we could get, because you said a number of things that I wanted
Yeah, a
to
lot of
talk.
it.
I want, yeah, and which is always so transparent, which I love about you, which has brought me to this point. I think that from you, I want women and men to understand that there is hope, right? Because you said a lot of things, and in 2 years, that sounds like a lot of pain for one person to endure. And then for you to say that you don't even know who your son's father is because he was born out of you being a prostitute. And it even hurts me to say it. And I know that it doesn't bother you, but for whatever reason, it does bother me. So,
Okay, you know what? You know what? That's
ah,
my son. That's my son. All right, that's Isaiah. Okay? Hi, son. What's up? Huh? That's nice, right? That's nice. Spot.
You guys,
Okay.
this is what I love about her. She's all over the place, but I love her story. I'm sorry. And once
No,
you
but you can be,
watch
but
it,
you can be upset with me if I'm causing you problems because
no,
I'm over the top
no,
sometimes.
Auntie, you're fine. I think that what I hear from you is a lot of transparency, and I think that that's what other people need to hear. But I want them to hear the part where there's healing. You know, I've seen a lot of women who stayed
Okay,
out long.
okay, what part you want me to talk about? Tell me. What
I
part?
just think the part where when did you get to a point where you felt like you could bounce back from the state that you were in, from smoking crack to prostitution to just being a whole different person? Because some people don't think they could ever come back from that.
Well, what happened for me actually? I went to a 12-step program. I had been to several detoxes. I've been to several rehabs. I tried religion. I tried moving out of town. Once I was sick and tired, I talked to God. I said, God, I was laying on the ground and in front of Our Lady of Mercy Hospital on 233rd, right up White Plains Road, on the grass. My son was two. My mother had my son at that. My grandmother had my son. And I laid on the grass. I had been to a place called Phoenix House for a year. I was in there for a whole year. Right, I was going to be a staff in training, but I was so full of shit. I was in treatment, trying to be a counselor in treatment, right? And now check this out. And because I sang, I got away with a lot of shit. I got a lot of responsibilities in the house in Phoenix House that was in Long Island City. I was there for a whole year. Then I went upstate because they were going to make me a counselor for real. I was a great role model, right? But the one thing I did do, I learned that. I learned to talk about how I felt. I always talked about honestly how I felt about things, even though I didn't address it. So I was there for a year. I came out and smoked crack the same day. I went on a run for about 2 weeks. I wound up in front of the hospital, 233rd Street in White Plains Road. And I said, God, I'm tired. There was nobody around me. I was laying on the grass. It was July 4th, but I claimed July 5th as the day I stopped. But it was July. Matter of fact, oh, damn, it's coming up. That's all something.
Save it. Save it. It's lit. We got a whole gift from your clean day. That's hard. That's hard.
Yes.
No, listen, I can't say, but
Thank
I'm getting ready,
you.
I'm getting ready to do something on that weekend coming up. And I just realized it's the same weekend that I said I was sick and tired, and what I'm going to do is like good for my self esteem, I can't, and my son just recognized it.
Roll up. Bro, what you crying for?
I'll tell
That's
him
what he
to leave
said.
you alone. Let's see him. Let's see him. Say hello. Hi. Thank you so much for showing your face. Oh,
Happy Tuesday, young lady.
oh.
He just came from work anyway. So,
So,
wow.
Auntie, your
So
anniversary is
what
coming
happened
up,
is,
huh?
so I laid on the ground and I said I'm tired, and I went to my mother picked me up, and I went to a 12-step meeting that next day, and I didn't smoke crack. I didn't do any drugs for 25 years, 26 years almost. Yep.
So it all boils down to you being sick and tired of sick and tired. But now you are in the community and you advocate for women, Black women especially. You're a big advocate for. You have dreads, but when I first met you, you had the scarf on, and I actually got off the live and said, I wonder if she has an afro under there, like Black Power,
I
because
just cut my hair. I had locks down. I could sit on my hair. I've had
yeah,
locks for 22 years,
yeah.
and I had two brothers die back to back in the past 3 years. So June 2nd of last year, I cut all my hair off, and it's just starting to grow back. Things started to go back.
But I see you really advocating for women, Auntie, and I see you going into the community. You just had an event that Flit talked about and asked us to donate, and
Oh yes. Oh, yes.
I saw that, and then I shared with you that I was doing a Mother's Day event in the community for women in shelters with their children, and it amazes me how people like you and I, coming from places of hurt, can do so much healing in the community. And that's why I wanted you here, because I feel
We're
like
supposed to do that. That's our responsibility. That's,
absolutely
I don't think anybody should be praised for that. We are my obligation. What the fuck did I go through it for?
right,
What's the purpose of a tour guide's life? A tour guide doesn't become a tour guide unless they go through the jungle first.
right,
How else you can be a tour guide? You
right.
got to go through it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm supposed to. So, I hear people often say, I can't believe you did that. I'm supposed to. That's the only purpose of living for me.
Right. I
If
agree
I
with
can do
you.
something to help your journey a little easier, if I can say something, if I can share something, if I can, what can I do? What can I do with this feeling? Remember that song? Y'all,
So,
I haven't even opened this stuff up. I
so
haven't even.
Auntie, you shared your story, and now I promised the people watching that you were going to sing a little something for us, but I told them that your dog sings too. So now you have to make Barack sing for us because now we're all waiting for him to sing. But I want you to sing for us, Auntie, because you're such an entertainer. You sing every day and post something on Instagram and you dance. You get loose. That's what I love. I go on Instagram just to find your post and then I replay it. And then if you ever notice, I make a comment and say, go Auntie, right? And I put a whole bunch of fire
I
emojis.
I see you in the Instagram streets. Yes, I do.
Yes, yes. I'm in the Instagram streets
You
looking
are
for people
you
like
are very.
you.
When is your birthday? When is your birthday, honey?
It's this month, Auntie. It just passed. I'm waiting for your gift in the mail.
Are you being funny or is that
Yeah,
your
yes.
birthday?
It just passed Friday.
Why would you not tell me that?
I turned 46, Auntie. I'm getting
Well,
up.
why would you not tell me it was your birthday? We talked, and you wouldn't say it was your birthday. How could you do that?
I apologize. I don't know
What
what
kind of
happened.
relationship do we have? Is it based on honesty or you just want the interview? Which one is it?
No, Auntie, I wanted you. I think I did tell you it was my birthday because I said,
I would have sang you a song. Come on, I don't. Listen, don't try to force on TV now. I mean, whatever
uh-oh,
you want.
Auntie. Okay, well, you know what? I apologize. I did say it on Flip
Auntie, your
Flat.
birthday's important. That's the day you were born. How do you not tell me, Auntie? I'm supposed to be. Oh wait, I'm gonna really rub your face with this, Auntie, Auntie. I know when your birthday was.
Can I just tell you this? I truly
No,
apologize.
don't say you talk too much anyway.
Oh God, Auntie, I love you.
I love you.
Come
I
on.
love you, honey. I love you. I do more than you'll ever know. It's for sure. You can always count on my love forevermore. I need you. I need you. Baby, I need you right now. Say, can you understand? I'll hold your hand. And my one desire is keeping you satisfied. Baby, when we're together, say, I'm all right, you're all right. It's like paradise. Wait.
Uh-oh. Yes. Please make him sing. Barry,
I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it. I'm gonna see how you feel.
okay.
What? Now I have to just sing something and we'll see
Okay.
how you feel.
Okay.
Now, unfortunately, I have to sing at a high key.
Go right
make
ahead.
everything right.
I have to see this before the interview ends. Please do it.
And I hate singing the high key because it's off key, and I'm so concerned about how I sound. But
No worries. People will understand.
I think he's ready. Okay.
All right.
Okay, wait. I love you. Love you. Love you. I do. Yeah. I love you. Love you. Do you? Tell me. Yeah. I love you.
Wow, I'm telling you, that's the clearest. No, that's the clearest we've heard it.
Oh, thank you so much. And
No, wait.
he's so
I heard him really say it
I
clear.
love you. He did. Look at him looking. He's like, what now? Everybody,
Wait. Did you record this?
I did.
Oh my God.
I'll send you a copy of it, Auntie.
I want to thank you.
No, I want to hear him.
I know it couldn't have happened Without your love. Yeah, 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 yeah,
And there you have it, you guys. Auntie Gina can really sing somebody under a rug, but her dog is also the highlight of the Instagram community. Auntie, I thank you for coming on the show and sharing your story. I love you so much because you're so real. And I love the fact that so many people love on you just because of your transparency. You know, I hope that if nothing else, somebody tonight is going to watch this back and see that time can heal some things, and more importantly, where you have will never, where you've been will never determine where you're going. And I think you're a prime example of that, because Auntie, it took me 7 times going to prison before I actually got it. It only took you
how much time did you do?
in total 14 years.
How much time back to back?
The longest I've done is 5 years, and I did 3 on the 5.
You did 305? You mind me asking you what were your primary crimes?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think everybody knows computer
I
fraud,
don't know. I don't know.
no, computer fraud, identity theft, larceny, like white collar crimes. Those are called what they consider here in Massachusetts white collar crimes.
I know what white collar crimes is, and unfortunately, that term is used when I'm gonna say it.
Go
When
say it.
some people who commit those crimes are sometimes the most devious, sneakiest
I've
people.
heard that.
A murderer, feelings, boom, you just respond. Lack of anger control.
I
But
agree.
a person who strategically, that's why, when I was in the street prostituting, there were girls who they were called jackers. They want to hook up with me to jack somebody up, a man, and take his wallet, all that.
Like
I never did it.
scammers, like scammers, right?
To think about that and take time to do it. Oh, that's devious. You have to be careful now. How long you been out of jail?
Almost 2 years, Auntie. So my year is up.
Oh, you're brand new, baby. You're a newbie.
2 years almost.
Or you have to, you know what, you have to do this, because if not, you have to do this. Because if not, it'll be turned a different way. That's why it looks like to me you're always getting ready to cry.
Probably.
It's like you're always, no, but it's beautiful. It's like you're always filling up, like you're full of, almost like a person who's pregnant waiting to have a baby, pregnant with possibilities.
Absolutely.
In a whole new world, a new fantastic point of view. No one to tell us no or where to go. Let me share this whole new world for you. I can show you the world I forgot the words.
Auntie, you're going to make me cry on here.
That's beautiful. I thought you wanted to be transparent. You wanted real. Let's get real.
It's true.
And listen, I want to thank you, because I didn't know you were so fresh out of the joint, as they say. But it's a whole lifestyle changer for you to be doing this. When some people are trying to make sure they get a bag, and so they make sure they don't go back. And many people revert, not to back to the same crime, but they revert to some kind of hustle. And I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Oh, girl, listen, you hound me down like you was hounding a mark. I'm telling you, you pursued. You took that energy. I applaud you.
Thank you.
You took that hustle energy and you turned it around. You got a podcast. You know how many people come out of jail and wind up back in jail in a year?
That used to be me.
But you are beating the odds right now, and you applaud me, my nigga. Yo, I applaud you.
Thank you.
I never did time. Well, I put myself in a self-imposed prison, but you actually had handcuffs. Yo, and you out interviewing me, looking beautiful, got the black girl braids in your hair.
Auntie, I thank you for this time. I thank you for sharing. I thank you for your wisdom.
Listen, you need to give your baby a standing ovation. Have you heard that song?
I haven't.
That's an old song. Look it up.
I will.
You need to look in the mirror and say, go ahead, girl. Go ahead, girl.
I think it's about that time, Auntie. I think I'm at that point where I'm going to start clapping for myself more often. You
What
know,
have you been doing this whole time?
I'm in school to be a juvenile defense attorney. I work.
No, I'm talking about the spiritual work. I'm not
Oh,
talking about
spiritual
what you're
work,
doing.
Auntie. You know what? I think that I spend so much time with God because I feel like my relationship with Him is the most important thing. You know, the cross is like this.
No. Okay, now
Yeah.
you get ready to
So,
get to that stuff. I don't
okay.
want to
So,
get
what
there.
do you want me to say,
I said, what
Auntie?
kind of spiritual work are you doing to deprogram yourself from to being institutionalized? What are you doing? Well, you ain't got to answer. It's personal. I see it. I see what you're doing. I'm on here. I see it. So we ain't got to go there.
I was
Yeah,
going to
I'm
tell you,
talking.
but since you do that all the time. See, you did it to Flip the other day when he was talking to you, and he was like, "Auntie, I love you." And I guess that's all we can say because we have so much admiration and respect for you that I understand.
She said, in other words, she said, "Cut me off all the time, motherfucking butt, because you respect me." Woo! I peeped that. Oh, no wonder you're a white collar criminal. I peeped that.
Auntie,
I peeped that. Oh, you
I
got a little dig, but you got a little dig. I see it. Go ahead, girl.
I love you.
Go ahead, girl.
I love you, and I appreciate you taking the time to share your
I like
story
that little
with
spunk you got.
us.
I like that. I like that.
And I just appreciate you. And so now we can talk off screen, and now I can really
Right. I
talk
was
to you.
gonna I was gonna say we'll talk off screen because I see I got it. I got it.
You
So
do
I'm gonna
have
go. I'm gonna go.
You
I
do
love
have it
you.
like that, Auntie. I love you. Thank you for joining Not Your Normal Conversation. This is Auntie Gina, everybody. She's on Facebook too. Follow
Oh
her.
God, please.
Everybody follows her, and she went viral. She doesn't think she's
Wait, listen. Okay, now when you say viral, what does viral mean?
okay,
What does
Auntie.
that
You
mean?
asked Flip this before, so you did a video, and this is how you got
Right.
hooked up with Donnell Rawlings, and it went viral. That means millions of people watched you. Flip actually was talking about it one night on live. He was like, I don't think Auntie understands what viral is. Millions of people have been watching this video.
Ain't no millions of people.
Sid, it's
Millions.
true. It's true. It's true. Auntie, you're
Okay.
famous, but I love
Okay. You know
you.
what I want you to do? You know what I'm gonna ask
What?
people to do?
What? What would you like me to do, Auntie?
Okay. My father, his name is Sam Fletcher.
I already looked him up when you posted him on
I'm not
Instagram.
gonna say what I want to say, youngin.
Okay.
Not you. I'm asking you and your people. I'm going to do his music. I've decided after many years of, I learned to have to forgive my father, a lot of stuff. He's amazing, and I'm going to do his music over. So if anybody takes time to look up the name Sam Fletcher in YouTube, listen to a song called "The Look of Love" or "Somewhere Along the Way," and one of those I'm going to record first. So if you can add, you can do a poll, see what song they like me to do. I'm gonna try to do
And
one
I'll
of them.
do that just for you because I'm
I'm
going to
serious.
listen to him. And I'm serious too.
I want to revive his memory because, and it's Father's Day, not because of that, just coincidental.
Yeah, Father's Day.
In order for me to treat men better, I had to resolve my issues with my father.
Absolutely.
So I'm embracing his music. I feel his energy and spirit. If you believe in the spirits of the people who transitioned, who passed, I believe in that a lot. That the spirits come and talk to me, and he's here. He's with me.
I'm
So
going to look him up, Auntie. I'm going to listen to his music, and then I'm going to do a poll and see which one they think you should remake because I think you're amazing. Everybody, thank you for joining me tonight at Not Your Normal Conversation with Auntie Gina, but her name is Gina Fletcher. But now I affectionately call her Auntie because I love her. And yes, she's telling her son to listen to me, but she knows that what I'm saying is true. I loved her from the time I heard her voice because she loved me and she didn't even know me. She never passes judgment. I think that's the best thing about her. Anybody that's watching, remember, you had to hear her story to know her glory. Auntie, thank you for being on Not Your Normal Conversation.
to know my glory.
We love you, and everybody stay blessed, and I will see you next week.
Very nice.